I was in the Boy Scouts. That was when we were in the Boy Scouts, Carl and I. And our scoutmaster, Mr. Thorpe, he had a cabin that he had built out on Cass Lake. Fantastic. I mean, it was beautiful. And it had open sleeping bedroom, balcony bedrooms on each side of the thing. And then we he used to take us out for overnight camp, sometimes 2-night camping trips or what. And we'd stay in there's a big log cabin. It had a regular kitchen built off with regular, equipment. But and it was all it was beautiful, with stone floor and a fabulous fireplace took up a whole wall, It had a plank there for the mantle that had come from Martha Washington's house. That was in there. And then when his wife died, he had gold hearts and this and that for his friends, put his memories of his wife, all over that. The thing was beautiful. I've never seen a better looking log cabin. It was gorgeous. And so when Carl and I wanted to camp out, we used to go there and break into his joint. We knew how to get in the upstairs windows, over in those bedrooms up there. We could get in those windows without breaking them. We knew how to do that because we used to sleep up there all the time, So we'd come in there and then we'd take over, eat and drink and sleep and have a ball, in his cabin. Well, we went out this one night. It was still afternoon. And we climbed up on the roof. And we started to get the window. And there's Mr. Thorpe with a gal, schtupping. So we almost broke in on him, in here. So we just turned around, and started to go down, and we both slid. Now, all the way down this roof. And Carl drops, and runs into the woods. I slid down, and I froze. My hands caught the gutter, and I couldn't let go. I mean, it would only been about a 6-foot drop. But I froze. I couldn't let go. I just hung there. And he came out. He comes down. He comes out and he takes a look. And he said, "You're Leonard, one of my boys." I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "What are you doing?" And I honestly, God, isn't this weird? I said, "Just hanging around." He roared, He absolutely roared. Can you imagine to come to say something like that with that, or not? And then it turned. I'm hanging right there, off his eaves, off his gutter. Well, he held me down. And he said, then I said, "Come on, Carl, as long as I'm caught, he might as well be." I called him and he come out of the woods. And he said, "Well, you boys, it's about ready for you." He says, "It's going to get dark soon. It's about ready for you boys to be back in town, isn't it?" And he said, "Yes, sir." And he says, "Well, get in the back seat." He said, I'll be out in a minute." So we climbed in the back seat of his car. And he comes out with this beautiful young broad. He says, "Boys, meet Miss Smith." And he drove us back to town.